And we're up.
Okay, welcome back to Drakkenheim. Uh, Sorry for the gap week. Had some personal things in my life to take care of, but we're back. Everything's good. Last time, uh, you guys were attempting to escort the queen to the Hooded Lanterns barracks, but she is making things a little difficult. She certainly wants to go there, but she is not built for traveling, especially not through the ruined streets of Drakkenheim. And even if she was, she's not in the right frame of mind for it. She's easily distracted, easily agitated. So you guys are going relatively slowly, and ended up getting hunted by a pack of Garmir. I still don't know how to pronounce the monster name, but yeah, you were able to fight off the initial wave of them, but it does seem as though they have caught your scent, as it were. They go around in small packs, but there are when they go out in multiple small packs, and the noises you were making, the your scent, the slow movement, they have caught on to you. I'm going to move you guys to the map of Drakkenheim. So, you guys had started right around in here. Um, you'll remember that you made your way to Queen's Park Garden from the clock tower. So you had entered and exited around this area. You are trying to make your way over to marker number 9. Oh, they caught your scent pretty quickly, right around in this area. You hadn't made it terribly far yet. So now that you have fought off the others, the initial pack, as it were, you're attempting to, or at least this is what I remember. Finch, you were attempting to gather up the queen quickly and hurry her along the way. Does that seem accurate to everyone?
Yeah.
All right. Um, Now my question to you guys is this: are you trying to go any faster? Of course, if you were to go faster, you would make more noise.
Here's my question then. Is I know I'd sent that my steed off to the clock tower to drop off the lilies. Um, can I communicate telepathically with it and check to see how far it's made it?
Yes, you can communicate telepathically with it. Um,
I think the range is 1 mile. I'm not really
yeah,
certain.
you're definitely within a mile range. Um, I would say,
My thinking would be this: if it's made it to the clock tower and dropped off the lilies, I would try and recast it to like resummon it. Uh, but even that would take about 10 minutes to do. I don't know if
well,
it's really worth it.
At the very least, before you get too deep in thought, roll a d20 and we'll see how far he has made it to the clock tower.
Hmm.
13. So he's made it a little over halfway. He's not he's not quite all the way there yet. Um, it's still Drakkenheim that he had to make its way through. It's not like he can go through walls and monsters and stuff. Um, so he's about halfway through,
Okay.
a little
I'll
over.
ask him to let me know when he's arrived.
Okay, he can definitely do that. Um, so yeah, as you take the time to do that, you guys probably are not moving terribly quickly. Um, is everyone else uh, seemingly moving along with them?
I'm pretty sure I'm gone.
You didn't come back down from the rooftops?
Hold on, let's check the Twitch.
I mean, I knew you were up there during the fight, but now that we're moving along, are you coming down? Are you moving along with them at all?
Is that what that smoke was? He just up and left?
Well, while he checks whatever it is he's checking to see where he's at, I'm going to make an assumption that whether he's on the ground level or still on the rooftops, that he's following along in some capacity, unless I hear otherwise. Um, but yeah, as you guys try to make your way towards the garrison, the barracks. I'm sorry. Um, what? I'm sorry. Okay. As you try to make your way towards the barracks, um, more and more packs of Garmer start to collapse upon you. Some similar size from the one that attacked you. Some even larger. You are truly being hunted. They sense that there are some weak members of your group. They know you're moving slowly, and like any predators, they are attempting to surround you and cut off your means of travel. Now, the question I have for you: do you intend to stop and allow them to come at you and make a fight of it? Or do you want to attempt to slip through alleyways and take side roads and whatnot in an attempt to escape, knowing that you might get turned around? You might not be able to make direct a direct line to the barracks. You might get moved any number of places.
I checked the game film. I never came back, and specifically, Finch talked to the shadow for a very long time, thinking it was Knock, and Knock is gone.
Okay. So Nock is not there. Where he is, I'm not sure. But how far can your shadow go without you being in the vicinity?
I think probably I followed pretty closely for a while so the shadow wouldn't disappear. But I think now there's not even a shadow. Knock's just fully gone.
Okay. Um so yeah, that would be on Finch and Bull to decide. Are you going to attempt to make a fight, or are you going to attempt to finagle your way?
Well, I'm kind of out of rages from the last fight, and I haven't had a chance to sleep for like 4 rages now. So I kind of want to finagle a way out of here. Not gonna lie.
All right. Finch?
I'm fine with that. I was almost wondering if we can kind of use the queen as bait, let the like move away from her, let them surround her, and hopefully she takes off her face and freezes them all, and then come back and clean up the rest. That
All
might
right.
be tricky to do without killing ourselves as well.
That is certainly an option that you could try. I will say this.
That's a cool idea. We'll go with that
There
too.
are there are a lot of them. Um
We should summon the ratlings.
You got a way to summon them? I don't.
We will go into the sewer and summon the ratlings.
so what it seems like you're leaning towards then is trying to worm your way out, take side roads, alley roads, stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um yeah, you got well, roll roll survival checks then. Yeah, that seems most appropriate.
This is where you're gonna get me killed.
Oh yeah. We're about to die for sure.
Well, I got
Ooh, 6. Um yeah, you guys 15's good, 6 is not. um you guys you guys are able to find alleyways. You're able to slip by them. But you are very clearly being diverted away from your goal. You are not you're no longer traveling west towards the barracks. You're now traveling maybe south or maybe even east. Roll roll a d4. On evens, you're going south. On odds, you're going west.
Is west the direction we're supposed to be going?
No, I'm sorry. You're going
we're
on evens. You're going south. On odds, you're going east. You were correct there, Colin. Sorry about that. Odds.
odds.
So you are now being pushed towards the east, back towards the Queen's Park Garden, back towards the Market Square, and you can even see the clock tower in the distance. And you think for a minute maybe you can make your way back there as sort of a stronghold, or or perhaps you don't want to lead them there. You don't want them to know where your stronghold, where your safe haven might be. It could compromise it for the future. And even if you made it there, there's no guarantee you would succeed.
Hmm.
You can both
Uh,
roll
we'll,
survival again.
we'll have to hold the stairs and make a final last stand, Finch. You and I.
We're gonna
This will
make.
be the clock tower will be our Alamo.
Didn't they all die at the Alamo?
Correct. I got 15 again.
Okay, well, you are once again, because of the three, Finch is really not doing a great job. You are unable to make your way towards the clock tower. They still haven't caught you. They still haven't. They still haven't managed to surround you and corner you completely. But you do start. You do get the feeling they're getting closer. You start hearing howls and manic laughter like hyenas and just craziness. And then out in the distance, you even think you see one much larger one. Only only glances. He's further back, but you can't help but notice his large, glowing red eyes. Make one more. Uh, no, we just did survival. So you guys aren't going that way. So yeah, you're still going east. Um, your mount would have told you that he has made it to the clock tower now, by the way. But I don't know if you can take the 10 minutes to summon him.
Yeah, that was gonna be the next question. Is that something I can cast 10 minutes while walking still, or if I'd have to like stop
I
everything?
I don't know the wording of it, but I do believe you would need to stop and do like a some sort of ritual. But but I could be wrong about that. But we're gonna go with no for now. But as you make your way more east, gosh darn it, what am I doing? I'm trying to find things. Um, the deeper east you go, the more, like I said, you were feeling very surrounded for a while, but the more east you go, the less you seem to feel surrounded. It's almost as if they're backing off a little,
Surely that's a good sign. And that couldn't probably mean there's some bigger monster.
as if as if they're entering someone else's territory, perhaps.
I hope it's the rattlings. We can just convince them to leave us alone.
Oh shit! Are we walking towards Slaughterhouse Square?
You certainly are.
Um, we turn the F around and
Nope. You're in it
Hmm.
now. One moment, though.
You know, Finch, I think we need to make it to the clock tower and we'll have our final stand like the
yeah,
Alamo.
even if it means going directly at the baddies, don't want to go to Slaughterhouse Square. Well, let's go any other direction.
Oh, we can take them.
You
I'm
don't
out of
have
rages,
any.
but we can
You don't
take
even
them.
have any clue what's going on there.
I just know I'm supposed to avoid that place. And if big baddies are avoiding that place, I definitely want to avoid that place.
But what if you like
Especially
stay on the outskirts of Slaughterhouse
with
Square? Like if you
not also being
just
weird, and I'm spooked.
All right.
all
Well,
right, Mr. Paladin, we can't be being spooked. I need you to
we're gonna take you here, and yeah, um, yeah, they were able to follow you very closely. It's almost strange how easily they were able to follow you. You know you were moving slowly, but still, that was rather interesting. But thankfully, they have backed off for now. You're not sure if they'll be able to pick up your scent again or not, but yeah, you guys find yourself coming to an area like this, and let me find descriptions. Um, yeah, I've got uh, Knock on this map too, so that he can see things. I'm not sure if he's following you in the shadows or not, but yeah. And of course, the queen and her retinue are still with you as well, but I'm trying not to move every little thing every few steps. But yeah, um, you come across a large octagonal plaza paved with broad flat stones and with a squat bowl-shaped granite fountain, 30 feet wide and 5 feet tall at its center. The tightly packed surrounding townhouses rise up 3 or 4 stories to high steepled rooftops with wrought iron cresting. Many feature narrow balconies and tall looking windows on their front facades, overlooking the square. The building composition resembles stern faces held in silent judgment, as if all who look upon them are found wanting. Pools of blood stain the streets around several mangled corpses. But even from a distance, actually, you know what? Hudson and, I'm sorry, Iron Bull and Finch, you can roll perception checks. And Knock, if you're around, you can do the same.
Yeah, none of our people that are good at these things actually here right now. Can we have Amnar roll?
Bull, are you going to roll? There we go. Amnar got a 17. So that's pretty good. So even from a distance, like there are bodies strewn across the streets here, but there are 16, great. In the center of the square, where the fountain and the gallows are even more bodies. But these aren't the bodies of prisoners or even commoners. These bodies are clad in armor. They have weapons. There's treasure to be had here. Even from a distance, you see a hammer. You see different cloaks and gloves. You see armors, staffs, potions, and scrolls. You even see an instrument. It's hard to tell from a distance, but these are no ordinary items. These are these are magical in nature, and they are there free for the taking.
Should we make a mental note of that and leave for now?
I mean, hold on. Why don't we investigate a little bit more?
Feels pretty
All right.
trappy.
I mean, it definitely feels like a major trap, and like nothing bad's gonna pop out and try and kill us once we get close at all.
So I'll say this. You can certainly backtrack the way you came. We're going to say you came from the north. But if you do so, the people, the Garmier who were chasing you will still be around and you will have to contend with them. If you leave through the west or the south, you will likely be able to get away. Leaving through the east will, yeah, we're gonna say leaving through the north or the east, the you'll still be hunted and probably surrounded quickly. Leaving through one of the other directions, you have a much greater chance of slipping away.
Well, I think let's stealth, stick to the edges, and slink on out of here with our tails tucked between our legs.
For
Right.
to sneak out of here. Yeah. I might first. What's my thing where I can check for like undead stuff? What was that one? Divine sense.
Yeah,
Won't you
that
just be
sounds correct.
won't you just be sensing the haze husk?
But
The
if you
haze
know the
hulk.
location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet, it's not behind total cover.
Celestial, fiend, or undead.
Within 60 feet, not
Um,
behind total cover.
you do not sense any of those here unless it's one of the maidens or whatever. If the Haze Hulk or the Maiden or the Queen are considered one of those, then you sense them, but you were already aware of their presence.
Cool. Um, so yeah, want to backtrack the way we came then?
Is that a question or a statement?
That was a question to the rest of the group. So I guess both.
Well, here's the thing: if we backtrack out, we will be hunted, and we will be in a fight to the death. If we risk going this way, whatever killed all the people with magical stuff will probably try and kill us. It'll be a fight to the death. So what poison are you willing to pick? I kind of want to go out this way just because
You could
I don't want
always
to deal with
just
the.
try to dash through as well. You don't have to stick around.
Yeah, we were just gonna be a little stealthy. Maybe not Hudson. He's kind of a not stealthy guy, but the rest, would
You've got
Hudson like
a couple people with you that are not necessarily stealthy, namely Queen Lenore and the people with her.
true? So if we
Now,
just
I
So
mean,
we send the
by all
queen and
means, you can use them as bait. Let them take whatever's coming.
I'm kind of tempted to. Even though my whole thing has been to protect the queen, I'm kind of tempted to say no, but
you know this queen has been a pain in my booty. I don't know.
Literally, it is written in the guide that is her main purpose, to be a little bit of a hindrance to you all.
nobody
I,
likes
you
messy.
know, what if we just try to find the sewers? Let's just crawl into the sewers. Finch,
Well,
we're pretty good at competing with the ratlings and making them not try and kill us.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, though, Finch, I do think our power over them is waning. Um,
funny
so we
you should
probably need to do
mention the
something.
sewers. The fountain in the center of the square um, actually has a rather large hole in it that leads down into the sewers. But um, what? None of you guys are really familiar with the city of Drakkenheim very much, are you? That's more Nox thing.
Yeah, not kind of abandoned us.
I'd be somewhat familiar with it. And we do have the map of the sewers.
Okay, that's true. You do have the map. So, you don't really have the time to take the map out and study it right now, but roll a history check to see if you can remember parts of it.
I've also a question. Is the hole like kind of like a man-made, like it's supposed to be there, or is it more of like a creature blew through the hole, through the
Um,
fountain?
a
Like
little
it's a
bit of
large
option A,
creep.
a little bit of option B.
Finch, we need to get your rolls up tonight.
So, is there anything that's
Get the
actually
questions out of the
like,
way, but it's probably just going to be this all night.
is there anything that's like
Um,
visibly waiting nearby, or is this all just like threats in the distance?
it is with the perception checks that were made, you don't see anything that is sitting there.
Does it seem like we've lost the Garmier?
To an extent, if you were to leave through the north or the east, they're still around. But if you leave through the west or the south, you will escape them.
I guess what I'm asking is it a matter of time or a matter of them finding the party?
I mean,
Like,
you
do they
don't
just
get
have
the
to catch
sense
up, or do they also have to figure out where they are?
who.
The Garmier,
They know you're here.
but they won't get close to whatever's here somewhere.
Um, yeah, they sort of backed off a little bit, as if they were entering something else's territory. but they haven't, like, they're not actively closing in around you anymore, but they're willing to wait a little bit to see if you come screaming back out. But yeah, with the perception checks that were rolled before, you're able to see a bunch of treasure there, a bunch of dead people with a bunch of treasure on them, but you did not see anything that stuck out to you, even if maybe you should have.
I just remember from one of the rumors that we got that this was like uh, an execution square or something like that.
Oh yes, this is where the executions took place. Um, all those balconies and things that I described around the homes, the residents would often sell tickets to come onto their balconies to watch the executions because there's not a lot to do, and executions are exciting. Yep. Um, it is time to make a decision. Going back out to the Garmir, or trying to go through the square.
I mean, my vote is going to be to backtrack, but I'll take other opinions too. I don't think there's a good option. I think it's just pick your poison.
There is not a good option. I will freely admit, the neither option is good.
I really
What
don't
are you
want to deal with the
thinking?
Garmir again. I don't think we can handle another swarm. Because like I'm out of rages. I did
The
not.
swarm the swarm is also bigger. There are definitely more of them, and there
Yeah,
is clearly a larger one that seems to be in charge.
But
Um,
if they're still scared of whatever's in the square, is that still the better option? You know,
you know, um, I think so. Because I got 40 feet of movement. I'm probably just gonna run. If the queen dies, we hope the queen can just turn it into stone. And if she dies, then she dies. And
say this:
well,
hey,
either
I'm not.
option you choose, running is not a bad option.
Yeah. I mean, the
so
queen could actually save our butts here. If we do get attacked, we can run out and hope that she turns a bunch of stuff to stone and gives us some advantage to come back later. And although I'm kind of curious if when she dies, everything that she has turned to stone turns back, like if it's a
I doubt it.
concentration thing.
I think
But
I doubt it. There's only one way to find out. Let's kill a queen.
let's not kill the queen.
Let's go. I say let's go east or over here. Do some running. Don't no looting. Finch.
So hug the wall, don't touch anything, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just try and sneak around to the west. All right, let's do it.
All right. Yep. Um,
Maybe I'll
so I'm going to move them on in, but I will wait for you all to move.
I'll finish. It's just you and I, because the other two aren't moving.
Oh yeah,
Or three.
Oh, I was looking at maybe doing a thing.
knock. Yeah, knock. You made some perception checks, so I assume you're around. Have you rejoined the group, or are you still trying to stay hidden in the rooftops, or what's going on?
Yeah, I think I'm keeping a little bit of distance, but somewhere up above. I've got my ring of jumping and the shadow, so I can move from rooftop to rooftop pretty easily.
Okay.
I think I'm going to drop my concentration on. Oh no, it's not concentration. Warding bomb is not concentration.
So does this path up here count as going north? Or
Yes, it
do we have,
does.
so
I'm
we
going
fully have to exit out
to
on this side?
Yep.
before we enter that square. I'm going to cast bless on, I guess, myself, Bull, and if Knock's not around, he's not getting a bless. So I guess we'll give it to Hudson.
Okay. What level? Well, I guess with only three, I guess that makes sense.
I guess I could upcast it one to get Hudson and yeah, I'll do that. So everybody but Knock, because he betrayed us.
So like for this fight, is bless like a one-time use or is it multiple? I don't know.
It is. It has a time limit, so it's long time.
Yeah.
It's long term.
Okay.
Um,
So then I'll go
but
ahead
it,
and
it
turn
is
bless.
concentration. So if he loses concentration, it will go away.
Just
Um,
remind me. So I turned on bless.
well, let me, like I said, running away is not a terrible option. um,
It's gonna be my first option, not gonna lie.
so, what symbol are we going to use for bless? We're just going to use a yellow dot. Um, so who did you put on Amnar as well?
Yeah, I upcast it so I could get Amnar too.
Okay. Couple things now that you're closer. First of all, um, this is far from all that's in here, but you do see a lot of items. Um, you see a plus one scattered about. Um, and this is just a quick assessment. There's much more than what I'm about to list, but these are just the things that you can see. You see a plus one hammer, a plus one scimitar, a plus one sickle. You see adamantine chainmail. You see a cloak of protection. You see plus one darts, gloves of thievery. You see a mithril plate. Um, you see a parapet of health, a scroll of augury, a scroll of giant insect, a scroll of synaptic static. You see a staff of fire, an instrument of the bards, and padded uh, armor of resistance. You also see a handful of potions, fire breath, greater healing, resistance to acid, cold, psychic, all just scattered about, free for you to take. But as your eyes are looking over all this loot and all the other loot that could possibly be here, on the other side of the square, what you assume to be part of the landscape, like part of the rubble of the falling buildings, starts to shake, starts to rumble. And a very large, very made of metal construct a bit begins to rise and stand. From around him, you see wisps of smoke, or that's what you think of first. But as you watch, this isn't smoke. These are spirits. The spirits of those he's killed. You see the executioner stand. And there is fresh blood dripping from his axe. And with that, we will roll some initiative.
Here's the plan. Hazehawk runs north, and then we all go south, and we use him as a distraction as we all run. What am I doing? Don't play D&D for 2 weeks and you forget all the buttons are. Yeah, maybe if Knock is high enough in the turn order, he can throw a shadow down and he can try and kill a shadow. And we all run.
I mean, as far as I know, he's just gone. He just left the party.
You know, Finch, I think we should have gone back to the clock tower for our Alamo last stand.
Hey, he's on the other side.
Yeah, the other side.
You guys can make it out, right? I mean, he's
Well,
last.
I
It
kind of wanted to
roll.
make it out
He's last in
to
the
the.
initiative order. You guys can do this.
Okay, guys. What if we go out through the south into unknown territory where we might have more executioners?
Oh no, there are not more. This is the Slaughterstone Square. There is no more executioners. This is the only one.
We had a rumor not to come here.
You
Yep,
certainly did.
a few of them.
That's why Finch
Okay.
was very adamant about backtracking to the Gimir. But that's not a great option either.
To be fair, there's only one of him, and what's his movement? 60 feet. If I run 40 feet south, he can't get me.
No, his movement is not 60.
I was exaggerating.
Remember, Hudson's is like 25. He's going to be
Um
slow.
oh, and I also forgot. You looked at you tried to recall the map and then I completely ignored that roll because other
Because we
things
all
happened.
rolled. We all rolled
Um
too low.
so yes, in the middle of the fountain there is a hole that leads down to the sewers. Remembering the map and remembering your conversation with the fish people, you think, though you're not certain, that going into the sewers here would lead you into the fish people's territory. Very close to the Drakkenheim cistern of water. And this hole here certainly seems like a lot of people have fallen through it to either to their death or already dead from the executioner. And that might be a source of food for a lot of the fish people. So there could be some around that you could could attempt to barter with, negotiate with, if you were to go down there. But anyway, um, the plan, I believe, was to run. So that's exactly what this handmaiden will do.
Finch, are we going west? Or are we going south? Which way are we running?
Oh, if there's a thing south, yeah, we're going south.
Yep, it's farther away from big guy. Hey, Sus, we need you to go tank him.
It's hurt too.
Yeah, I know. That's why he's gonna go take one hit and then die, and not be my problem.
Fair enough.
So we're kind of gonna pull back a fun little tidbit thing that we did in the past, where Bull is gonna pick up Hudson to ensure that Hudson and Bull can both make it out just fine.
Um, that's fine. You have the carrying capacity to lift him and move normally.
I should, since I have the little giant feet.
Okay.
Little giant.
Does that like double
You
your
have the,
carrying capacity then?
and you count as one when determining your carrying capacity. I count as one size bigger for the weight you can lift. I can push, drag, or lift because I'm a little giant.
Okay.
So
Well, Hudson has 89 pounds of equipment on him, and we'll say a dwarf weighs what, like an extra 100 pounds? I honestly don't know. So if you can lift, we'll call it 200 pounds. If you can easily move 200 pounds, then we are good to go.
how do you calculate how much you can lift? I count as one size larger, so I count as large. I'm asking you, Colby.
Says
I'm
I
looking at
googled
it.
it. Says a character can carry up to 15 times their strength score. That seems low somehow.
I have a strength score of 18.
That's 270 pounds.
That's 270.
You have less than 70 pounds of equipment on yourself.
95 pounds, but I also count as a size large and how much is a large creature allowed to carry. Probably looked this up for that staff, and I could carry the staff without having to have light on me. Because it was like 700 pounds.
So your carrying capacity, since you're a large, count as large, is your strength score times 30. But that doesn't actually specify how much you can throw.
Well, I'm just trying to pick up Hudson and not throw him.
So then you
You
Well,
can
can.
if you have a strength score of 18 and times 30 since you're a size larger, you can carry like 550 pounds. So
You were close.
that's
It's
well
540
within.
according to the calculator.
Okay. So that's well within, if we call Hudson 200 and then you said you had what, another 100 pounds on you?
Yep.
So that is well within the limit. You can absolutely pick him up. We will say he's a willing creature, and you can move off with him.
Yeah. Just we'll
I'll
keep
click
that
and
in
drag
mind.
him. I'll click and drag him wherever you end up.
All right. $35. Boom. Uh, let's go right there, I guess. I can't really tell where I'm at besides the rebel. So there's 40. So he's somewhere around me now.
Right there. Then we've got Amnar. And Amnar's got 35 feet of movement. Plus, I think, some feline agility.
And he can always
Allows him.
dash.
Feline agility allows him to move twice his speed. So we'll say, what is that? 70 feet.
So he could
Yep.
fire off a shot and then run away.
Sure, we can have him. If he fires a shot, he can't dash, but I guess he doesn't need to if he's using that, right? So,
Run off on his own.
what's his thing? Star shot, hand crossbow.
Yeah.
He gets an 18 to hit, and it clangs off the executioner's armor, dealing no damage.
Did it roll his or is that with bless? At 18?
Oh, no, I don't think it is. Let's amend that. He shoots. He gets a 20 to hit, and he is able to find purchase in one of the cracks of the executioner's armor. Dealing 8 damage. He shoots again because he can attack twice. Can I turn Bless on? I can. There it is. Getting an 18, which misses. Oh, yeah, he would have. I forgot he also had something else. He'd deal an additional 6 poison damage. No, he wouldn't. This thing is immune to poison damage.
And he's looking badly injured now, right?
Amnar? Yeah, he's not doing great. So yeah, Amnar runs and almost makes it to the end of end of the map. Knock, it is your turn.
All right. From somewhere, Nox Shadow. It's going to be right here. And Nock Prime is going to drink a potion.
All right. A potion of healing or something else?
A potion to be revealed later.
All right then. And not making any other movements.
Not yet.
Okay. Hudson's turn. We'll have him move his 25, but we're not going to have him dash. He will ready in action to cast healing word if anyone goes down. That seems good. Finch, it's your turn.
Okay, so you mentioned these balconies around. Is there anything that like looks like I could easily climb up into a balcony?
I wouldn't say easily, but you can certainly make a athletics check. It wouldn't be super high DC.
Um, yeah, let's try and climb up. Yeah,
Okay. There. How far are you trying to make it up?
at least up into the balcony.
Okay, because these are 3-story houses, and you still are
Oh,
limited by your movement. Um, but you could with an 11. I had sort of thought the DC would be about 10, so you're able to climb, but you're not able to make it onto the roofs. But you could make it onto the second or third story balcony.
okay, cool. I'm gonna. Is that would that be all my movement then? I assume.
Yeah, unless you want to dash.
No. With I will. I will bonus action X. Yeah, I think I'll bonus action hex and then Eldritch Blast it.
All right.
Do Eldritch Blast. That'll miss.
Yeah. 19 misses. So with that, you can make the assumption that his AC is 20 because Amnar was able to hit with a 20.
And I'll say that he has disadvantage on strength ability checks.
All right. It is the queen's turn. So far, the plan still seems to be to have run.
When she moves, I'm going to use my sentinel reaction to shoot her in the leg.
All right. Um, go for it. 22 hits. She is stuck there. And she becomes agitated. What are you doing? And yeah. Uh,
Oh, that shoot. How long has it been since we left the gardens? Or let's see, when did I shoot? I cast that protection thing on her, didn't I?
oh yeah, in the last battle, yes, you did.
How long has that
Um,
been?
I would probably say that you guys were being hunted, then you made it through. I would probably say it's been an hour or so.
Okay, that would be the duration. Was an hour. If I was curious if it would still be active.
Yeah, if you probably could have made it the same distance in more quickly than that, but because you're having to go through alleys and back roads and circling back on yourselves and all this to try to avoid being pinned down, it took longer to make this distance. So yeah, no. If the time limit is an hour, the hour is up.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, she'll stop and say, What are you doing?" And without really like thinking it through, her hair sort of springs to life, almost like almost like snakes, and attempts to hit the shadow. Or I don't know if she knows if the shadow or not. She might think it's just you. Getting an 18 to hit, and then a nat 1 and a nat 1.
That will take it out.
All right. Dealing a total of 6 piercing and 11 necrotic. And if you hadn't been a shadow, you would have also had to make a con save for contamination. Yeah, and in the middle of that, her mask does begin to slip. The Haze Hulk fittingly looks around, hearing his queen get injured, and goes to swipe at the shadow to find nothing there. And let's see. Let's roll a 17. That's good for you all. Lucky for you all. He looks around, and the first thing he sees is the executioner. And he makes the assumption that that was the source of his queen's agony. And with that, I know you guys saw him move, but the first thing he does bef- before moving is he blinks out of sight and turns invisible. Then he makes his way towards the executioner. Handmaiden is going to run because she has not been told otherwise, and they are not smart. It is now the executioner's turn. And he sees a lot of people trying to run away. Yeah. Yeah.
So, is there a reason, knock, as to why Riley and the Queen die after we've slogged around with her to try and get her somewhere else for benefit?
So Bull would know this. There was a whole conversation had, and Nock said we should absolutely not do this because it's going to amount to handing her over to the crazy necromancer who hates us and putting him in charge of the city.
Mm. Bench, I think we still should have gone to the clock tower now for our last stand. Well, let's see if she can survive one hit from the executioner. And it's a really good thing I decided to pick up Hudson.
Yeah, it has 40 feet of movement, so it is able to make it to the queen, who is
The Haze Hulk
still in the center.
attack of opportunity.
It does. Um, but I don't know if it would stop for it. But that is a fair point.
Right, because the Haze Hulk is going to hit him. This Haze Hulk's going to miss this 21 armored giant.
It does. It gets a 16 to hit with advantage, He rolled a 16 and a 13. So it does miss. It does flicker back into. Wait, does invisibility go off when you make an attack or only if you hit?
I think it's when you make an attack, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Hunter magic turns invisible. I think it depends on the level of invisibility, but it doesn't say what level. So yeah, he's going to flicker back into existence. But because he missed, the executioner does not realize that he just passed that thing. And it is. Oh, nuts. I did not understand how this worked, and I should have been doing things. Oh well, you guys got lucky.
Say what?
It has legendary actions, but it can only do them at the end of other people's turns, not the end of
The
its
queen
turn.
has her own legendary action.
So that's a lot of stuff that he just didn't do this turn. But that's okay. That's okay.
Does the
Yeah,
queen
he's
also have
going to
legendary actions?
say that again.
Does the queen also have legendary actions?
No, she does not.
I
She
think
may
the
have
queen's about
had
to get one-shotted.
she may have had layer actions if you were to have fought her in her grotto, but she does not have legendary actions.
Hmm.
But yeah, this behemoth of a construct lifts its guillotine looking blade and swipes at the queen. Oh, gotcha. Um, getting a 25 to hit, which definitely hits, dealing 18 slashing damage and 19 necrotic damage. And she needs to make a con save or have her hit point maximum reduced. Which she fails, getting a 6. So her hit point maximum is reduced by 19. And that's the end of the executioner's turn because he did not get to take any legendary actions. This handmaiden uh, has realized that her queen is under attack and will come back and try to fight said executioner. She gets a 25 to hit somehow, dealing 11 damage, which is more damage that it did to that thing than I think any of them did to you all, which is kind of ridiculous. This one will do the same. only getting a 9 to hit. And yeah, the executioner will use a legendary action to uh, all these dead corpses around it. From within them, shadows arise from 3 of them. And we're just going to say they act on the executioner's turn. Bull, it's your turn.
Great. I've already got a well laid out plan.
Well, there's nothing stopping you from running.
I know.
And as I said, I would highly recommend it.
So then getting the Hudson, picking him up at 20. 35, 40 with Hudson. So
All
he could
right.
be, I don't know, somewhere in around here.
Works for me.
You know, I
And
think
not.
this whole picking up Hudson thing is keeping him alive.
It just might. We're going to say it's Amnar's turn. Um, we'll say he's got a ton of movement, so we'll say he goes back and tries to shoot at the executioner again, I guess. Yeah, hitting twice.
Jeez.
One of them a crit. Dealing a total of 24, 8, 9, 29 damage.
Did we want him to crit just then?
Did you want him to what?
I said, did we actually want him to crit? Like, are we thinking this executioner is killable?
I don't know.
I,
What
I
are
think
you
we're just
thinking?
testing. I think we're just testing the waters. Yeah, see what how much like roughly HP he has. I don't know. I'm practically left the battlefield, and so is
Um,
Hudson because of me.
well, let's just see here. You guys have done what, 24? Uh, you've done what, close to 30 or 40 damage at least?
Let's see, because
Maybe even 50 with the handmade hit for an extra 10. And yeah, you actually I can look at it exactly because I can see his health bar numbers. Um, you've done you've done 48 damage to him. And can, can you guys? I know you can't see the numbers, but can you see
He's
his
a
health bar? Can you
he's a
see the
pretty
range around
strong
him?
green.
Anyway, yeah. Knock. It's your turn.
Twist the knife or run for my life. She's I'm gonna roll a die. On odds, I leave her with another shadow. On evens, I double dash. All right.
That's
Drop a new shadow. I have my ring of jumping. I can jump almost as far as I can move. So I'm gonna move. So I'm gonna take a single dash. Ah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't like to let me get up here. That's 25, 30, 35. This corner would be 40, 45, 50, 60. All right, that's my turn.
and then it's Hudson's turn. We're gonna say he holds an action to to healing word if anyone needs it. And Finch, it's your turn.
Well, I'm gonna fire off a couple Eldritch blasts at Executioner.
All right. Nope.
We do just one.
Nope.
And I'm going to move as far as I can on this. I guess I can't actually move my person on this balcony. So I guess I kind of,
If you wanted, you could climb up onto the roofs now. It'd only be another 10 feet of movement, and then you'd still have 20.
does that roof kind of continue south?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. That was kind of my original plan anyway.
Yeah, we'll put you there, and you can kind of move southwards.
So I have roughly 20 feet left.
Yeah. We'll say you went up to the third floor balcony last time. And you could probably pretty easily jump that gap if you needed to.
I like the gap. So I get to basically there.
Yeah.
All right.
Then it is the queen's turn. And her handmaidens have come back. But she is fully lost it. Um, she's screaming a high-pitched wail. Her mask has completely come off now, and anyone who looks upon her face will need to make a Constitution saving throw. However, the executioner, being a construct, is immune. It is not something he needs to worry about.
Well, that plan didn't
The,
work.
the shadows, however, do will need to worry about that on their turn. Yeah. No, I lied. Shadows are immune to petrification as well. So unfortunately, her biggest weapon is not going to be at all useful here. Um, she can still try to attack the what you call it with her hair, getting a 20, a 17, and a 14. So one hits, dealing a total of 17 damage. Can't quite make it there. And the executioner, being sort of surrounded, it starts making a lot of noises, a lot of rumbling, a lot of shrieking from the spirits that are
Is this
surrounding it.
is this thing about to go graveler and self destruct on us?
Not quite, but a very similar noise that you might imagine from a self-destruct starts to emanate, a high-pitched whistling, almost like a steam engine, or or pressure that is building up too much, and just like a pressure valve that's being built up, suddenly vents open up around him, and in a 30-foot radius, a noxious a nauseous, not little, I can't talk, a
Noxious?
gas, yes, thank you, a gas erupts around him, and it is filled with more ghosts and creatures screaming, "Save us! Help! Help this thing! Help us! Let us go!" And everyone in the 30-foot radius needs to make a DC 21 Constitution saving throw or take 43 damage. So yeah, looks like that would be Finch.
Would that put
And
me 30 feet up and 30 feet out?
oh yeah, you are up. I forgot about that. And you are exactly at the 30 feet, so we will say that no, you do not need to. Dang it. Dang it, dang it. But yeah, not only would you have to succeed that throw or take 45 damage, half that on a successful save. If you had failed by 5 or more, you'd gain a level of contamination.
Which we all know I would absolutely fail
Yes, you would have.
and immediately sprout something.
But yeah, since it's a 30-foot thing and you are on the edge and you're on a roof, we'll say that it misses you. You're welcome. I am kind and benevolent.
I'm still glad I chose to run. I'm assuming that probably ended all the handmaidens and the queen and the haze husk or haze hulk.
It ended all the handmaidens and the Hulk. The queen survives.
Hulk, Hulk even passed the saving throw.
The Hulk only had like 3 life left from the last
Yeah.
encounter. It wouldn't have gotten
And
any hit.
go, 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 go.
And oh yeah, Nock's shadow counts as an object, so it doesn't have to do that. Yay.
Definitely not doing anything else to hurt the queen at this point, though. She is our exit meat shield.
Bull, um, if your plan is to run, we're just gonna say you stay right there.
It's grab Hudson and run.
All right. Cool, cool, cool. We're going to say Amnar does the same thing. Knock.
Call me Yoshi because I'm going to double dash.
All right.
So 90 feet of movement. Still
Yep,
on a roof somewhere.
you're out of there. Uh, Hudson will do the same. Finch.
Yeah, I mean, I want to fire off a couple of shots from the executioner and then keep running off.
Yeah, go for it.
You're not gonna land a single one.
Nothing is hit so far.
Well, you got all your bad rolls out for this session, and next session will be nothing but great rolls.
Yeah,
But yeah, those both miss.
and then yeah, just bravely run away.
All right. Leaving your queen to her fate. Um,
Along these roofs.
but yeah, that we will there's no need to finish this out. The executioner still has, well, let's just say a lot of health. The queen has not a lot.
And you never
Um,
used the shadows. You forgot about them.
as you guys as you guys run away, you do see the executioner lift his guillotine sword and behead the queen. And as she falls down, he grabs her body and tosses it into the cistern. And you watch him. You're no longer in the square. You watch him go back to his corner, sit down, and once again blend in with all the rubble. And that ends the encounter. You guys have successfully made it away from the Garmir. You have made it through Slaughterstone Square, at least for now. You didn't fall for any of the. I say fall. You didn't take the time to pick up any of the loot. There was some good stuff in there, guys. Um, but you are no longer being hunted. You no longer have the queen dragging you down. You you can be a little more stealthy. But you do find yourself in a part of Drakkenheim that you have not been to yet. Um, you are up here at number 14, far away from anything else that you've been to. And stranded in this part of the city is where we will leave you for this evening, to be picked up next week.
Did that cistern? I'm trying to remember. Did that go down below, or was that something that was just like in the square?
Went down
Yes to
below.
both. It was a feature there, and it had a hole there. Um, Man-made, executioner made, a little bit of both. But it did go down into the sewers and into the waters below, where you think the fish people may dwell nearby.
I'm definitely making a mental note to try and go back and snag her artifacts.
Yeah, those artifacts might be in the hands of the fish people now.
Yeah. We could help the rat people attack the fish people and say, hey, we'll give you a great deal. We'll help you beat them, and you can eat as many as you want as long as we get these two things.
They would probably be pretty happy with that.
Adding it to the objective list. I'm going to mark that down as a seafood buffet.
Do we know anything
Okay.
about the King's Gate over there? I don't remember if we've heard like who controls it or if anything.
We don't, because I can't find any mention of it. I can't find it in their module. I can't find anyone talking about it online. I do not know why they included that gate there, except to give a passage in and out of the city from the north. But I'm sure I can figure out something if that's the direction you guys want to head.
I think we're probably more likely to go back to the clock tower and make our way out of the city from there. But
Yeah,
maybe
down to down the number 12 to regroup and figure out what to do.
Somewhere along the way, we'd like to try and find a chance to take a long rest, but we're in Drakkenheim, so we can't.
Well, you can at the clock tower if you make it to the top of the clock tower. That was the
Yes,
whole reason you guys. That was the whole reason you guys took the clock tower in the first place. So yeah, um, next session. It sounds like you guys will be heading towards the clock tower. Fun times. And I hope that was a semi interesting session. I wasn't really sure how it was going to go. Um, I had three possible things for you to do. So hopefully that wasn't the worst thing that you guys have done.
I super enjoyed that.
well, that was
Glad to hear.
something you wanted the whole time was the queen dead.
I made my intent known early.
Yeah.
Yeah, there may or may not have been reasons that the things were able to follow you so closely. Smoke signals amongst them. Um, I don't feel like that would be a super big secret now that he has actually attacked the queen. So I feel okay saying that.
No, I think even to have sort of a flashback, like the moment where the shadow shoots the queen in the foot. Uh, maybe Finch sees the real knock on the roof, like looking him right in the face.
Yeah, so maybe when we get to the clock tower, maybe that will be some time for some character discussions of different things. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
might
I don't know how much you guys
question.
like to avoid
Uh,
conflict.
well, I may have to question Knox's motivations for that.
So yeah. Yeah, I don't feel like that's a secret, but it was I hope neither of you feel as though I forced the queen to die. Um because
I
I tried to be very fair about it to
I
give
also
you
just
know
straight
both
up
sides a
like
chance.
I had a lot of rolls go in my favor. Like it was very possible that she was going to get away, and it just worked out that like the initiative was in a certain order, and like certain attacks hit and certain attacks didn't hit.
Yeah, I didn't want to I didn't want to seal her fate one way or the other. I tried to be very fair. I hope neither of you are terribly upset with how it worked out, but that is how it worked out. And
I was kind of mentally and spiritually preparing myself for the possibility that the executioner was going to end up on the roof beating me to death, because I was like, there's a real possibility it goes this way.
I was
yeah,
kind of assuming that that might be the only safe place. Like, if we were fighting the executioner, uh, that up on the roof or the balcony might be the only safe place to do so.
yeah.
but
Um
somebody has to be down there to stop them from coming up.
so slight spoiler for the actual campaign this is from. I will try to be vague as to not be to give too many things away. But in the main campaign, they came across Slaughterstone Square at like level 3. They did it very early on with some very bad rolls and got lost in the city. Um, they were very underleveled, and they didn't come back again until they never killed the executioner. They but there was someone they wanted dead, and they tricked them into going into the square and fighting the executioner while they shot arrows down at them.
That's phenomenal because I legitimately I have never watched the show, and it's fantastic to know that they did this almost the same thing.
Yeah, it was very similar.
Round
It was
similar.
not the queen. It was not the queen that they wanted dead, however. But there was someone else, and they were like, "So, if we antagonize this guy and get him angry enough, maybe he won't realize where we're leading him, and we can just have the executioner deal with him, and we won't have to."
I mean, it's dangerous, but it is a very powerful asset if we want to get someone dead.
Oh yes, very much so. But
I also really like
simultaneously,
that.
there's a strong chance you will die.
Yep, could have
There's
gone.
loot there.
Also true. Although I kind of wonder if the loot is like a mimic or something, and if you grab it, you're stuck, and then it just beats you to
Um,
death.
No, it is not. There is legitimately a lot of loot there from a lot of people who tried to kill the executioner. Um, but they're just not good enough.
I think we come back at like level
So,
8. I think we could take them.
so if Jupiter Jones ever comes back, we know what to do.
I mean, I don't necessarily want to like kill him. If we could get him in a crate, still petrified, and ship him back home, where eventually they will revive him, that would be the perfect outcome for me.
I think actually I would agree with that. I don't
Honestly,
very,
necessarily
very, very
just
Bugs Bunny
being
cartoon,
competition, but I want him out of the way.
an address like a sticker that says, to what's the country called? Caspia.
Timbuktu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
it's like
Caspia.
to Caspia by way of Timbuktu.
I mean, honestly, what if we just took petrified Jupiter Jones, took him back to our base, and he became like the centerpiece of our garden that has lots of wieners on it?
And we'll just come back for him later.
Yeah.
Whew.
So yeah, that is that session, and see you guys again next week, I guess.
All right. Peace.
All right, see you guys.
Peace.